Hurricane Arthur has moved out of North Carolina, but not before causing some problems. The storm made landfall overnight, packing 100-mile-an-hour winds and heavy downpours. You can see what the strong winds did to the power lines there.
Thousands are still without power and some roads are impassable. But there is good news. There are no reports of serious injuries.
And Chief Meteorologist Jason Boyer has been in the Outer Banks for the last several days tracking the hurricane.
He joins us live from Kill Devil Hills. Jason, the sun has come out and people are back on the beach.
Yeah, absolutely. And why not? It's another beautiful beach day here, much calmer now that Arthur has pulled well away from the coast and the Outer Banks. And that's the case elsewhere, like Myrtle Beach, where it is only a glancing blow from Arthur, allowing many to flock to the water. Currently, Arthur is situated well off the mid-Atlantic coast, packing sustained winds of 80 miles per hour and moving quickly off to the north-northeast at 26 miles per hour. So where is it headed next? Nova Scotia by the weekend, then farther out into the North Atlantic. So it's going to move rather quickly and the winds should likely weaken as it does so, becoming extratropical by the weekend. Well, it packed quite a punch though, and while it's the calm after the storm now with beautiful weather, the early morning hours were anything but. A rude awakening for many this 4th of July as the worst of Arthur roared through Kill Devil Hills between 3 and 4 a.m. Winds gusted to hurricane force, sandblasting buildings up and down the Outer Banks as towering waves battered the beaches. Come the light of day, the tides had receded some, leaving behind scattered debris. All in all, a sigh of relief from many as damage was minimal. And as I mentioned, life already returning to normal here in Kill Devil Hills very quickly, with beachgoers soaking up the sun once again. Now coming up at 5:30, we'll show you some vacationers who would not be deterred even knowing that Arthur was headed their way. Reporting live in Kill Devil Hills, Jason Boyer, News 13.
Hurricane Arthur has moved out, but not before causing problems for the North Carolina coast. This is a look at the Outer Banks from the sky, and you can see several roads are flooding and shingles are torn off roofs.
The storm also damaged power lines, causing tens of thousands of people to lose power. But as we speak, crews are out repairing the damage.
And Chief Meteorologist Jason Boyer has been tracking the hurricane for the last several days and rode out the storm in Kill Devil Hills.
He joins us live, and Jason, judging by the scene behind you, some people have already headed back to the beach.
It didn't take them long, Darcel. It was a few minutes of sunshine this afternoon and they were right back out here beachside, and why not? It was another rather nice beach day, even though the breezes still blow. We had the eye wall just over us for a few minutes, actually several minutes earlier this morning. But that's the case right now along many beaches in terms of all the beachgoers. Let's take you down to Myrtle Beach, where it was only a glancing blow from Arthur, allowing many to flock back to the water. Now, where is Arthur currently? Well, let's show you. It's situated well off the mid-Atlantic coast, packing sustained winds of 80 miles per hour and moving quickly off to the north-northeast at 26 miles per hour. So it is still a hurricane. So where is it headed next? Nova Scotia, that's right, by the weekend, Canada, then farther out into the North Atlantic, losing a lot of its intensity. Wind speeds here along the coast of the Outer Banks, North Carolina, and even South Carolina, well, they're expected to be rather benign this weekend, sustained between 10 and 15 miles per hour. A much different story earlier this morning when gusts reached hurricane strength where I stand now. Those winds weren't enough, though, to deter some vacationers from sticking it out, even though they knew Arthur was right in their path. The Wilson family from Long Island was coming hurricane or not, and they are certainly some die-hard holiday revelers.
We came down here about a week ago with all the kids and 4 other families from Long Island, and we just came down knowing what we were going to be faced with down here, but we're looking forward to it. It's been an exciting week for all of us, and we're here to have a good time.
Now, many communities here in the Outer Banks are not planning on having any fireworks shows this evening, tonight, on the 4th, but many have pushed them back, rather, to Saturday and even Sunday. So if you're hanging out here along the Outer Banks Saturday and Sunday, those folks that will get a pretty good show. Of course, some may shoot off their own, even though it may be a little bit against the law. Now, coming up at 6, we'll show you how the damage was farther inland away from the coast, and we'll show you some details about how folks have responded to that. Reporting live in Kill Devil Hills, Jason Boyer, News 13.
Hurricane Arthur leaves its mark on the Carolina coast, making landfall and history overnight. This is the earliest in the season that a hurricane has ever made landfall in North Carolina.
The storm caused widespread power outages and flooding, but there are no reports of any injuries.
News 13's Jason Boyer weathered the storm along the Outer Banks overnight, and he joins us live from Kill Devil Hills.
Jason, it already seems like things are back to normal there.
Very quickly around here, especially with as strong as a Category 2 Hurricane Arthur was. Not a huge deal for these folks that have lived here many, many years. Well, when the sun came out, we saw beachgoers flock right back here, and you can see many still out enjoying the sunshine. And that seems to be the case elsewhere, like Myrtle Beach, where Arthur only provided a glancing blow, allowing many along the Grand Strand to flock to the water. Currently, Arthur is situated well off the mid-Atlantic coast. Let's show you what it looks like statistic-wise. Packing sustained winds now of 80 miles per hour and moving quickly off to the north and northeast at 26 miles per hour. So where is it headed next? Well, far away from the U.S., Nova Scotia, in fact, by the weekend, into Canada, then farther out into the North Atlantic. Now, wind speeds are expected to be rather benign, sustained between 10 and 15 miles per hour this holiday weekend along the North Carolina beaches. A much different story earlier this morning when gusts reached hurricane strength where I stand now. While residents and vacationers weren't the only ones hoping Arthur would move quickly through, business owners here were also a bit anxious, hoping they wouldn't take a hit in the wallet. We visited a restaurant called Hurricane Mo's yesterday when business was good before Arthur. Today, well, you could say it was booming.
It's a little more than I expected, honestly. We had a parking lot full. We had a late opening because nobody could get to work. The roads were closed. And probably 100 people waiting to get in at 2. As you can see, they're here.
Now, Mo told us yesterday was her busiest day ever and that today will easily top that. So yes, it seems the memories of Arthur are disappearing as fast as the food. As we come back here live to Kill Devil Hills, the calm after the storm here, life returning to normal for many, but not for the folks along Hatteras and Hatteras Island, because the road, Highway 12, has been washed out as it typically does in storms like this. So it's still closed for folks going in and out. So those that have remained are stuck, and those wanting to get back can at this hour. And Old Dominion is reporting about 850 customers without power across North Carolina and Virginia. All in all, not a bad situation for many folks here. Reporting live in Kill Devil Hills, Jason Boyer, News 13.